Smoke Inc. Got Garter as well as Aggressive both coming to the middle lane. They smoke up Shiki at the same time, but he's not actually joining them. Meanwhile, I.M.O are actually heading up to the top lane with their own smoke.
You go for the safe lane support and then just go for the tower right after.
Yeah.
So they have no time to respond. And
exactly what it's going to happen to DDC.
This should tip off Q, though, at top.
They're going to be able to get DDC quite easily. And Q, this gank is not going to work. The Light Strike Array doesn't actually hit. Lanham still coming in from behind, though, so they should still secure this kill quite easily. Both teams have the same exact mindset, it would seem.
Yeah,
Smoke up, gank the safe lane support, punish them for essentially leaving one hero to farm that lane, and take tower.
This is really common. Like, both teams had the exact same thought, which is why I thought Q would start running there. He was like, man, what are the odds that they're doing the exact same thing to me?
Yeah. Oh, CTY. Oh, he actually caught Shiki. Still not enough. Once again, the snowball save comes in, and now they're going to turn around on CTY, trying to get the last cup. Oh, what? 2 HP. Are you serious? Now he's going to have a regeneration on top of that? Shiki, thanking his lucky stars.
Yeah, he just got the low end of the hit. He pops his magic stick, or magic wand, so it looks a little bit better than it was, but 2 HP was just the difference between life and death for them there. And that would have really slowed down the Queen of Pain, who, I mean, I can't even express how badly he needed that kill to keep up right now with CTY.
5-5, 10 minutes in. That net worth is steadily going down to the C-Deck's favor.
Yeah, that Visage has a medallion too, so this game they can actually go for the Roshan. Whereas in the previous one, I felt like they were just forced into a tower situation.
Oh, DDC runs right into XD. They're going to pop him before the shallow grave. Fisher laid out, but not much else is going to come of this.
I think you pointed out too that most of the net worth difference is within the offlaners. Like XE has a fully completed mech and just 50 gold, and if you look on the flip side, ROTK's got arcane boots and 500 gold. Like, it's not even close.
There's also the very gigantic discrepancy between the two safe lane cores as well. Razor has way less than the Gyrocopter because, as you said, Gyrocopter much better at farming.
Yeah, and YJ has been rotating around a lot. Like, I'm still not quite sure why when he went for that top lane, when he just sort of meandered. Like, he went for that top lane, and then he walked back mid, and then he went back top to go farm. And, so C-Deck, once again, we saw them in this type of position last game where they had the advantage, but weren't able to capitalize. But I think this game they're in a much better situation. Like, their Visage has a medallion, so they don't have to go for unsafe opportunities. Like, they can go for the Roshan before they go for anything else.
I feel like they have much better late game this time around too. Like, last game it was like, okay, we can see merits on both sort of situation, but I feel like C-Deck, despite E-Home, they're okay, but it's just the edge. I would say the Gyrocopter has the edge over the Razor, the Darkseer has the edge over the Earthshaker potentially, and even the supports. Like, if Q's actually getting a lot of farm and he gets an Aghanim Scepter, that can mean a lot.
So they're going to go for the Roshan attempt between the two of them here. I was asking, like, why aren't they actually leaving the Frozen Sigil there, but it should be a pretty easy Roshan. I don't think E-Home have any way to check this, and even if they did, I don't think they can really get into a fight here, just blindly checking in. So this will mean a free Roshan for C-Deck, and this is something they really missed, I think, in the last game. They had the dire advantage, but they didn't opt to go for this. But this time around, I think this is going to determine a lot of the tier 1 towers for them. So you can pretty safely push behind Aggressive if you want. This is going to mean that he can get away with going for the S and Y this game instead of going for the BKB first.
Okay. So you go straight for the tier 1 tower middle, right? Keyest tower that's left on the map for E-Home?
Yeah, I think you can start going for pushes. You've hit some pretty sick item timings where XC has his mech at the same time you completed the Roshan, and now you can just sit behind Aggressive and just start to slowly tower siege this. And once YJ shows himself at top, I think this should mean that they can get aggressive on the map. Maybe they even just defend the tier 1 tower at top and push that instead.
Next coming in for YJ soon. Is there anything else? Yeah. I'm really surprised C-Deck didn't just immediately 5-man, since they're already grouped up near the middle lane. Just go for that tower.
The thing is, Aggressive can just push out top and guarantee that they don't take that tower, because they won't die for a guy with an Aegis. It's too risky.
True.
So it's better for him to push out top, guarantee that they're not just trading 1 for 1 because they are ahead right now. There's no reason for them to have to trade 1 for 1 here. So he defends that top tower out, and then they can go for that mid tower because he walked up. He actually walked up there. Like he didn't go for a TP or anything.
Oh yeah,
so he can just go back mid.
Once he pushes out the lane a little bit, boom, TP's mid, 5-man into the tower.
Exactly.
E-Home not able to get a trade off. That makes sense.
He's just guaranteeing that they don't get a free tower at top.
Right. So here it comes. The 5-man, tier 1, E-Home do not really have a response here. 2 of the heroes up at the top lane. They don't have the Blink Dagger yet up on the Earthshaker. Compare that to the Darkseer, who kind of has his team fight item, which is the mech. Now he's going to search for it, see if he can't find somebody. Vacuums back RTK, but looks like Garter had different ideas for his pickoff. To take the tower, now who's going to TP up to the top lane to go back and defend it? Doesn't look like anybody. It falls, so they still make the trade-off nonetheless.
I mean, it's just like, you got to delay it, I guess. That was the best possible option, I guess, for CTEC. They thought, hope that CTY comes back, try to defend the tower, but E-Home are not interested at all. They're much more comfortable with going for the trade. It's more guaranteed, right? And you might not get another opportunity to go for that tower. CTEC feels pretty comfortable with taking a fight right now. So any sort of trade for E-Home where they don't have to fight against the Aegis in an awkward position is a win-win for them. Oh, CTY, him and Garter, they're just out of vision of each other.
CTY looking to get that surprise jump, and is going to try and burst out Shiki. Garter a little bit slow in the reaction, but will now be able to snowball, block in CTY, and Shiki says, thank you, Todd.
Oh, no, CTY!
No! What a play there. CTY managed to pull out that stun in the last half second. Now they're going to try and nuke down R2K. Aggressive, running him down, but a good sleep will actually stall him up. YJ, though, ice shards right on the money. Will block him in.
Oh, he's stolen so much damage, though.
And Aggressive will actually keep his Aegis still. Despite the damage that was stolen by the Razor, unable to turn her back around them. Now Q actually wants to go for more. Now going to slow down Lana with the new familiar. Stun 1, stun 2, and now the rest of the team is here as well. Q turns around, throws out that burst damage. Mech will keep the Visage alive. And DDC, geez, CDEC just go from one hero to the next to the next. What a snowballing fight that was for CDEC. Now taking the tier 1 tower. Backdoor protection, be damned.
That was no BD protection, man.
I mean, yeah, you know what I mean.
ROTK actually had the opportunity to get the fissure kill onto the gyrocopter. It was really unfortunate. He waits right here. He throws at the fissure, like right at the top, right when the rune spawns. So the gyrocopter runs down slightly, and then the fissure just completely whips. It was like a 100 HP gyrocopter. And then maybe CDEC is a little bit more tentative to go for stuff like that top type.
Yeah.
But because they weren't able to even knock off the Aegis, I mean, they used it to max advantage right now. As Aggressive almost has a fully completed SNY, he's just got a ton of stats. And this is going to mean that it's going to be a lot easier for him to fight the Razor too. As we saw, he wasn't able to quite get away from him, but this time he can just maneuver in and out. Kiting is going to be really simple for him.
Sure. 8,500 net worth on our gyrocopter, still dramatically ahead of the Razor, and is pulling further and further ahead all the time. 3,000 gold lead on him alone. The Queen of Pain and Lina matchup. Lina is ahead by 2K. Well, more like 1,500.
CTY has kept his team in this game.
Yeah.
Just the amount of plays that he's had right now where he barely survives or he dies, but he kills the Queen of Pain and the Queen of Pain isn't able to get the rebuttal kill has been pretty huge for CDEC. But right now the problem for E-Home is that the Razor doesn't have the net worth to compete, and it's not like his item build is going to change anytime soon. It's not like he's really close to that BKB, and if you just take a look, I mean, XZ pretty much matches him in farm. Like, he's got a mech with upgraded boots, which is what the Razor has at the same time.
Once again, Aegis, I'm not going to say wasted for CDEC because they did try and force fights. They just didn't have to use that Aegis, but it will go down without a fight. Guardian Greaves actually finish up for XZ. That's really interesting over the Blink Dagger.
I think they just want to go for the straight 5-on-5 engagements and hope that you can tank through the burst damage at E-Home. So I don't think it's a terrible pickup here by any means.
Yeah, I just felt like it had such good synergy with Call Down by itself, but then you also have the Queen of Pain's AoE, maybe a Snowball or Ice Shards.
Yeah, I think the Blink Dagger would have been a good choice too, but CDEC, with the Aegis gone, I don't know if E-Home will anticipate this type of smoke where They're getting incredibly aggressive right now, but they do have the lead, and so it's not very dangerous for them whatsoever. And Garter has a Blink Dagger, and everybody from eHome is just disengaging. They're just going back to base, and YJ's headed to that top area. Maybe if they can get a ward down here.
Oh, CTY instantly blink in, Walrus Punch, Self-Fuel Scepter to be able to dodge to this. Fiend Script placed on Garter, but Lonham is now going to be the next target. Really can't save his mid.
Smoke, but I think it's a bad idea to use it right now. I don't think without any sort of follow-up he should be going for this, because it's only a level 1 X.
Then goes straight for Aggressive. Only really locks down him and Garter, but it's still enough to get a kill on one. Aggressive
he's
still
just not
gets away
going
from the
down.
lead on CTY. Now a 3-man back.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They even lose the tier 2
Did
tower.
you notice that? CTY almost died.
It was really
He ran into the wall.
Oh, did he?
And he almost killed himself on that. He had to Yule Scepter in order to dodge his illusion hitting himself.
Life is full of terrors. I mean, they can get a BKB really soon on Aggressive if they want. There's nothing that's going to surprise C-Deck anymore. They already know about the Earthshaker Blink Dagger, so in the next fight they'll be a lot more careful. YJ is desperately trying to get a BKB or just something right now, but only 282 gold backing him up, and there's no objectives that they're going to go for that are going to be nearly in time, where he'll be able to complete it. Like, if they still had towers to go for, if they're in a decent position to push, then maybe he gets it within the next 4 or 5 minutes, but without that, it would have to be a dominating team fight. Even his jungle isn't very safe.
C-Deck. Start coming in for this bottom tier 2. eHome are already ready to defend. They have Lina with the TP scroll, so she can join them as well in a second.
If you notice, Aggressive at the same time is still stacking up this entire wave repeatedly. It's just making it so hard for eHome to come back, because eHome doesn't have a stack of their own, and even if they did, who would clear it?
Yeah, exactly.
Rich get richer.
So Gyrocopter's always able to stay ahead. And thing is, they didn't even have XZ there. C-Deck weren't really committing for a push at all. Force some rotations. Try and make the Lina come back. It just seems so unlikely that eHome are going to try and jump you, especially since they still don't have Echo Slam. Though it's coming up in 10 seconds, so maybe this next creep wave push, they'll be willing to stop this. But at the same time, their cores have already rotated out, so maybe not. C-Deck. No, here comes the Lina. And their Razor is running over. Oh, never mind. Razor stops. He's going to push in middle. They give up on the tier 2.
It's still only a level 1 Echo Slam. Like, he hasn't gone a level or 2 since then. So I don't know if C-Deck are worried about this. They get the tier 2 tower, and then I think they just back off and go for the next Roshan. And then from there, you can go push out that top. Like, they already have a ward set up for this. And eHome's just put in such a weird position where I think they might even go for a smoke of their own and try to contest the Roshan.
You got to upset the trajectory of this game. I mean, oh, Jesus. 12,000 gold lead for C-Deck.
The experience is just as
dramatic, yeah.
Yeah, so C-Deck finished the BKB up on the Gyrocopter. It's a fully completed one. He's got a ton of levels too. YJ just can't keep up when it comes to farming levels anymore. eHome do have a few glimmers of hope though. CTY's got an Aghanim Scepter picked up. The Earthshaker Echo Slam, you would like to see him at least level 11, but things can still change.
Yeah, I mean, the important thing is you have... I think it's even more important for you to have maxed out Aftershock than it is the second level of Echo Slam.
Yeah, just for... I mean, going from 0.6 to 1.5 overall as a stun is a lot easier to set up the next fissure. But C-Deck are just going to farm out the Ancient stack. In a second, they'll see that Roshan is up and take it. I think eHome